Hi everybody, this is Cindy over at paper.old.new. I was watching a video earlier. Tina over at shabbydabbydoodah was making some pockets out of book pages. I have piles. Look, wait, I'm going to show you. This is just from book pages I've torn out of books I'm setting up to be altered books. That's all this is from. This doesn't include the text blocks that I have in a box. So, needless to say, I have tons of book page to use. So when I saw these pockets she was making, I thought they were really cool. Now, she was doing some, I did both versions. So she said these were, the video I watched, she was making these that she came up with after her son, I think she said, made these. I'll link the video I watched, and she mentions this is the page. So you end up with a double pocket. So you've got a pocket back here and a pocket right here. And it uses up 3 book pages. And these, so you have these floating pockets. This one turned out a little bit crooked. So this is the one she said I think she said her son made these, this one. And I'm just doing the bases right now. But I was going to show you my interpretation or my process. And then the one that she made after her son made that was this one, where she flipped the page the other way. So the way I did it, I did not glue this one to this one. So you have a kind of a divider in there. So you have a pocket in the front and then a pocket in the back if you want. And then, of course, it floats, so it can either be clipped into a journal, glued down, made a pocket, made a side pocket, you know, however you want to use it. But it uses up 3 book pages per pocket, which is kind of awesome. So I'm going to show you how I did her idea. I love this idea. So I love how these are turning out. So you can see I've made a couple here. I went and grabbed some scrapbook paper that I had laying around that I've been wanting to use up on something. And you can see that this is how these turned out, and then they will be embellished. So this is just the base. So to start off with, basically what I did was I took I had a stack of book pages, and you need 3 book pages per pocket. So basically what I did was I folded one, excuse all the banging, sounds like people are putting away shoes or something upstairs. All right, so I fold one down on an angle like this. And my bone folder went missing. Oh, here we go. All right, so we get this pocket. And then I just folded, for this one, I just folded another one in the same direction, and then I just flip it over. So I just fold it basically to about the same point in the same direction. And then tuck it that way and flip it over. And there's my, tuxedo collar. And then you just take your other pages, and then these 2 will lay crisscrossed on top of this, like that. And that's where you have, that's how you make this pocket, okay, for the folding. All right, and then for this one, of course, I still fold one. Get all that out from under there so you can see. This is for this 2-layer pocket. Let me show you the one that actually lines up properly. For this one, I folded one down like I was doing before. So just like that. And then I took the other one and I folded part way. So I left, see how I leave this big straight spot? And that's about how wide this is going to be. Maybe a little less. Okay, and I fold that down. And then you take this and you put it on top like that. Oh, of course this folds the other way so that you don't see it. And then it goes like that. Okay, and then you end up with this. Now, in this case, this page back here is blank. I might not cover it. I might just stamp on it or something. because it's a blank canvas that I could work with. So anyway, so that's the folds. Now let's mess with, I have a bunch of this old scrapbook paper that I have. It's kind of almost like magazine page. Can you see how it kind of shimmers? Or glares? It's kind of like a thick magazine page or brochure paper that this is printed on, but I have a couple of these that are, not this one, that are like this old, like this one's old money, and then here's one that's some old lace and a rose, and here's some more rose and buttons and lace. So I have a couple of these, and I thought they would be good to use for these pockets. So I'm going to, let's take one of these, and we'll do, let's do this type of pocket. This is the one I struggle with a little more. All right, so I think it would look nice to have this down here on this bottom layer. Okay, now what I can decide to do is either add the decorative part up top or just some of the lace up top. But I thought since these already had items that kind of went together on the piece of paper, they would be fun to do these pockets with and then embellish on top of. So let me get my glue mat before I... Now, I'm using Mod Podge just because it happens to be what I had out because I was doing... I was decoupaging napkins earlier. So I had my Mod Podge out and I was like, oh, why not? You know, I'm going to be putting stuff down on here anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up because I want this on here. So I'm going to line this up and I'm going to fold it over so that it fits within that fold. Just because I want to see what I have to work with and where I might want to, because I know that after this point, it's not going to show above there. So anything I put above there is reinforcement or extra. I do like to go a little bit above there just so I'm sure that it's not gonna miss where the book page folds over. So this is where we are, and what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cut that off right here. Let me get my scissors. Let me make a mess while I'm standing here making a video. Let me cut this off right about here. That way, whatever I want to use, I have plenty of room up there. All right, and just to make sure, I'm going to fold that down. And yeah, see, it meets. Pretty good. All right, so what we'll do now is I'm Mod Podging. So now it makes everything lay flat, no bumps from the glue or anything like that, but it also curls the paper because it's wet. I mean, it's just the nature of Mod Podge. So I've been stacking these to dry underneath books over here I have off to the side that are awaiting to be pages torn out of. I've got an assembly line of altered books going. Okay, so we're going to line that up and we're going to glue that down. Just, oh, you slid. That's the other thing about Mod Podge. It does have slip. So once you get it down, if you don't hold it in place before you push, it'll slide on you. All right, and then we're going to, and then I'm going to put this piece down. Now, what I have done before, and it was completely by accident, but on my one page that's real crooked, this one here, I had glued, this rose paper comes like all the way up there, and I had put glue over this, and my seam had gotten wet, so it had softened, and I had lost the seam. So, and I didn't recreate the seam before I put glue all over it again and tried to fold it, and then it was crooked. So I kind of lost that one. Oh, I didn't ink it again. Okay, guys, just in case. The other thing about this brochure paper is it's really nice if you forget to ink, because it doesn't really Oh, I say that, and then it takes this ink really well right there. All right, we'll just wait. Okay, so that's that, and then that'll have to be trimmed up. So I'm losing track of my other pages. What did I do with them? Is this them? No. What did I do with my... Guys, I'm losing it. That is them. Okay, so here we have this one. Now, this one, of course, I'm not doing anything to. I am going to, now a lot of people say, well, why don't you just cut that off? I'm going to glue it down to reinforce the edge. You know what? And since my glue takes forever to get to the bottom of the bottle, we're going to Mod Podge it down. All right. So we're going to Mod Podge this down to itself to make the fold, to make this edge on this pocket. Just so, I'm losing everything. That one's right in front of me. Just to reinforce this edge for when you're sliding stuff in and out of it. And then we're going to ink it. Okay. And we're going to ink this one. And then we're going to stick them together. Now, remember, it's supposed to be a layered pocket. So we're only, I mean, you guys know how to make pockets. We're only gluing the edges, right? So in this particular case, what I'm going to do is, because I don't have any of this like trimmed up or anything, we're going to line these corners up. So I'm going to get my glue to run down into its tip. I've got to add some more glue to this bottle. Or maybe use this. Is this why you guys use the little bottles? So you don't have to wait for them to... All right, I'm going to glue just these two edges for now. Just because I haven't trimmed up the others and I don't want to put glue and then cut it off. Because I don't know where that's going to end up lining up. So we're going to put this down here. And I have made that mistake. Lining that up with the top and the side, or the bottom and the side. And there we have that part of the pocket connected, except for this back part. And then we're going to do the same thing on this page. Now this is the back page. And before we do that, we of course want decoration up here. So we have the decoration down here and then decoration up here. Now you could decorate this strip if you wanted to, or put some more decoration on here to break up the book page. I might come back and add trim to the edge of that pocket to break up the book page. But for now, I just want to decide what I'm going to use up here. Now the question is, do I want that gold sparkly purse, or do I just want this little bit of pearls and lace? Because I kind of just like the simple pearls and lace. It leaves my background relatively plain and ready to be embellished. Okay, sorry about that. As you can see, I've moved the book page and now I'm lining this up to glue down here. So that's... I don't need all of this though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up and I'm going to see where I actually need this. Because I'm trapped between reinforcement and bulk. Although for this, I'm not sure I care. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to Mod Podge this page. It doesn't go all the way down, but I don't remember how far down it does go. So we're just going to... We'll go to there, and anything that doesn't stick, we can either trim or restick. Probably be easier to restick it. All right, so... line this up. Come on. Oh, brother. Don't curl on me. All right. That's good enough. Okay. So there we have that. Now, we can take our other pages and glue them down on the two sides. But what I think I'm going to do is use the back page as my determiner, so to speak, for where this is going to sit. So what I do is I line this up along this side and along this side, and I find the furthest in, although with this here, the furthest in tear, and I go behind that, and then I cut, and that way I get everything. Now, since I've already glued paper down to this, I can just go to there, and as long as I get this piece at the bottom, I'm okay. Where is my cutter? All right. So right along there, and there you have it. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put glue along here, because make sure I'm in frame, along this edge, because we don't know how far up here to go, and it's easier than measuring. So I put, if my glue wants to work for me here, we put glue along this edge. Just down there. And then glue along all the trimmed edges here. So it doesn't really matter which one I do on the bottom, but we're just going to do this one because it's flat and I'm not flipping it over. So I'd rather have more of the glue on the piece that I'm not handling as much. And then we go all the way up the top on this edge. And then what I'll do is I'll line up my front flat corners, right? And then wherever this back edge glues down is where I'll trim off all of this mess. And then we'll glue that front part of that pocket down, right? Okay, so this is down. This is crooked. This is down. And then this goes like that, right? Just like that. And now what we're going to do is trim along here. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this book page edge, only because I have stuff that is sitting in further than my back page that's all torn up and won't glue down well. So we're going to bring it in along this line and hope for the best. All right, so we're going to go along this book page line. That's this top folded book page. And we're going to line up right along there. Let's line up on this 20 and make it straight. Okay. And we're going to take our cutter and we're going to go through all the layers. Oh, one cut. And now we can glue our pockets down. Okay, so now that we know where we are, oh guys, I stood it up. We could be here a minute. All right, so we're going to glue that one down. I don't know if I'm glued all the way down the bottom or not. And then we're going to glue this one down. So we'll start down here. come right up along the edge. And voila. Now, these are decently thick. Like I said, these could be floating pockets. Like if you wanted to make this its own little piece and just take a paper clip. Excuse my arm. I know it gets up there in the camera when I reach up on my shelf. And just clip this in your book, you know, at the top or, you know, whatever. And then it's removable. And, you know, you might maybe put a pad on the back or something like that. So that's that one done. Now for the, I call them tuxedo pockets. But we're going to run through this one real quick and hopefully it won't take too long. What about this one? I wonder if I could get this one to work. I think my only issue with this one is I end up cutting off that. But let's see if we can make this work. I only need to go about halfway down, right? Probably less. So let's fold this. Here I said I was going to try and do this quickly and I've already wasted like a minute and a half. All right, we're going to cut this where we folded. Again, you're only covering like 2 spots because everything's oh, I probably should have checked. What I've been doing is like I lay the paper down, I line it up with a corner, and then I see what line of words I need to put the glue down to. And I forgot to do that this time. So we're guessing. Here we go. Guessing, guessing, guessing. And you kind of do need to make sure it's glued down just because it is going to be the surface on which whatever you put in the pocket slides, if that makes sense. So it's going to, you know, so you don't want, like if there's anything on your pocket, you don't want it catching on the way back up. Like if you make a tag or something that's got a pocket in it, you don't want whatever you put in that pocket to catch on the way back up. If that makes sense. So just going to make sure that's all glued down. All right, and that takes care of my top. Now, I am going to go ahead and trim this. So we're going to line this up on a line. I'm going to go right about here, make it straight, cut it off. I'm not hemming and hawing because I'm not trying to rush it, and I'm going to explain the steps as I go. I just want to keep this video, you know, a decent length. Okay, that takes care of that. Now we have these pages. Now, of course, this page doesn't require any decorating other than ink. So we're going to ink this and glue this. Ink, ink, ink. Sometimes I think this takes extra. Okay. Again, not having a cut edge over here, we're going to do this for our measurement. Darn it. I forgot to lay this on its side again. I'm really considering getting smaller glue bottles. Just filling a whole bunch of little ones. Okay, so down this edge so that we don't go too high or too low. And then this one's going this way, so we're going to go across the bottom and up the side. That way, when we lay it down and line it up, on its side, Cindy. Lay it on its side. So when we line this corner up and get that side laid down, this side should glue where it's supposed to. Okay? Now, get that taken care of. Make sure that's all glued down. And sometimes you lose your points. Like that one's off a little bit. I can like kind of get it back on. And there we go. All right, now this one we of course want to decorate the bottom of. Now I want this picture. I don't want to lose too much of it, but in the same token, I don't want... See, that's going to cover up the face. What happens if I go this way? No, I don't like that as much. Okay, we got to figure this out, guys, and we got to do it fast. I really wanted to use this. I like it. You know what? I'm going to lose the face and I'll put something there to decorate. Oh, buttons. I could put buttons on here. Okay, we're going to do that. Okay, so let me... This time we're going to remember. We're going to go up to... There we're 10 feet off. Okay, so we're up there. Mod Podge it all the way up to there. Like I said, the thing I like about Mod Podge is, I mean, paper on paper, it doesn't always hold, it doesn't hold everything. I'm not saying it's like the end-all be-all glue, but paper on paper, it holds things flat. I mean, it can get messy, don't get me wrong, but it holds things flat. Okay, and let's make sure our line is still our line, because I put something there before we put glue on it and try to, uh-oh. We also need to trim because I'm folding over. I don't want that to fold over. Okay. Also, what I always forget, and we're going to remember this time, is ink before we glue down. I'm always forgetting to do that, and I don't get... I don't get a nice inked edge along there where I glue this piece to its. So, all right, now I'm gonna Mod Podge it. Now I'm gonna finish this one up, and we're gonna call it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mass make a bunch of these bases. Don't focus in too close. There's some bad words on here. I didn't see them earlier. I apologize. They're going to get covered up though. All right, so we're going to get this one made. I'm going to call this one, and what we're going to do is I will come back with embellishing. I'm going to make a bunch of these guys, like 13 of each kind or so, I think is what I've got in these stacks. I may have added more. Who knows? Oh, I need to trim this so I can line my edges up. Where's my scissors? Okay, so we're going to trim down this side. Line up with the edge of the page, Cindy. Why is that doing that? I like listening to you guys cut stuff on video. I like the sound of it. Oh, Lordy, this isn't glued down where it's supposed to be. Oh, that was supposed to be inside. Oh, well, okay. All right, for future reference, you're supposed to glue this flap is supposed to be inside. I mean, it doesn't matter too much. It's getting covered up for the most part anyway. But that flap, actually, it's really getting covered up. It's your reinforcement for here, but usually I tuck it under the other way. So it's not out here. All right, now we're going to get the edges glued, get this one trimmed up, and this will be our last. Gotta ink it. And like I said, guys, these are just bases. So obviously, these are practically like whole pages. They still can use some embellishing and like that. So I'm going to make a bunch of bases. I know I keep repeating myself because I keep getting sidetracked. I'm going to make a bunch of bases, and then I'll pull out a bunch of ephemera, and when I come back with these pockets, hopefully relatively quickly, I will we'll decorate them together. And while I'm gone, after I make them, I may do, like if I want to do some stitching on any of them, I will probably do that off camera, you know, and then so when I come back to you, they'll be stitched and ready to go. If there's going to be any stitching. And we'll decorate them up, and you know, we'll have a bunch of floating pockets ready. This is exciting for me, guys. This is building ephemera, building stuff to put in journals. This is the stuff I don't have. This is the stuff I'm, you know, working on making. And as I come across something that I really, really want to try, like I did with Tina's video, I will make some, like I did this time. I'll make a few, show you what I did, and then we'll make a couple on screen. And depending on what it is, obviously, we'll either finish it in one video, or like with this one, I'll mass make a bunch of bases and come back and we will make the bases and then decorate the stuff. So I hope you guys liked this idea. I have to give credit to Tina. Her video was awesome. And I will link the video that I watched of hers in my description box. So if you guys want to head over and watch her do it, we'll come back and decorate them, guys. I hope you like this. Make some bases, get them together if you like this project, and come back with me and we'll decorate. See you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.